You have the notes, the plan, the folder full of ideas, the research, the perfect outline in your head. You're not addicted to the thing you want to build. You're addicted to the moment right before it, the part where it's still perfect, because it isn't really yet. You know this feeling, lying awake, imagining how it will go, the finished version, people reacting to it, you having done the thing. It feels good, it feels like progress. And in a strange way, it is something, just not the thing you think it is. Because planning lets the dream stay perfect, starting with what makes it real, and real things can fail. You write the outline for the business and never register it. You rehearse the conversation in your head 100 times and never send a message. You open the same project file again, rename it, organize the folders, maybe even write a better title, and close it before making the ugly first version. It's not that you don't care. You care so much that you keep the idea where it's safe, in your head, untouched, undefeated. The moment you act on it, it stops being infinite possibility and becomes one specific, imperfect attempt. And some part of you would rather keep the possibility. I think I finally got how it works. Imagining the finished version gives you something real, excitement, relief, a small taste of being the person who already did it. Then you actually start. And the gap shows up immediately, between the version and the rough, clumsy, unfinished thing in front of you. Because once you start, the fantasy has to meet your actual skill level. And that can feel humiliating. That early excitement doesn't show up when you're 3 days into something average looking. So your hands slow down. The motivation that felt so strong a week ago quietly disappears. This isn't only about willpower, it's about where the reward is. Imagining gives you something immediately. The real work asks for patience before it gives you anything back. The painful part is that almost starting looks like hope from the inside. But from the outside, it becomes here with nothing finished. I'll tell you honestly, I know this through making videos. I had imagined a video doing well, people watching, the idea landing, something finally feel worth it. Then I had published it, and most days it would just sit there, barely watched, no reaction, days of work meeting silence. And maybe your version isn't videos. Maybe it's a business, a move to another city, a job application, a class you keep meaning to join, a message you keep rewriting and not sending. Different shape, same trap. Something that feels perfect until it has to exist. That gap between what you pictured and what actually happened is brutal the first few times. It's tempting to read it as a proof you shouldn't have tried. But here's what I noticed instead. I was no longer just imagining. I had actually made something. I didn't wait until I was smarter, more experienced, more ready. I started collecting real experience instead of more imagined scenarios. And that's a completely different thing than another night of picturing it. Almost starting will always feel better than starting, in the short term. That's not a flaw in you. That's just how the reward works. But it's also the reason a year, then 5 years, can pass without nothing built, where the version in your head stays flawless and untouched. Now I understand that the only way to close the gap between the vision and the result is to keep making things that don't match the vision yet, on purpose, over and over again, until they start to. This video is for everyone who can picture the whole thing perfectly, but hasn't let themselves make the rough, disappointing, very real first version of it. You're not failing by making something imperfect. You're finally doing the only thing that was ever going to get you closer. Don't aim for the version in your head. Aim for the version that exists. Make one thing this week that exists outside your imagination. Bad title, bad lighting, awkward first sentence, the message sent unedited, whatever it is for you. Just make it real enough that you can no longer protect it by only imagining it. Let yourself feel the drop when reality doesn't match the picture. That drop isn't a sign to stop. It's just what starting often feels like when the dream finally becomes real. I still imagine videos that do better than they end up doing. That hasn't stopped. What changed is that I stopped needing the imagined version to come true before I'd let myself start the next one. You don't need fear to go away first. You just need to make the next rough, real step towards your dream.